Hello everyone, welcome to our Lang Lang Piano Art Guide. I'm Bojun and I'll be responsible for explaining the art history content. In this first episode, Master Lang Lang has explained a very famous and well-known piano piece called Für Elise, a work by Beethoven. So, using this particular piece, I'll take some time to explain in the first lesson that while Western art history may at first glance seem incredibly complex, if you're able to find a set of, I'll call them binary oppositions. If you can understand these two key terms, you'll basically be able to grasp more than half of the main thread of Western art's development. Now, turning back to Für Elise, this particular musical work was actually not published during Beethoven's lifetime, which is actually quite interesting. So if you look at its catalog number, it's not Op. If a work is numbered Op, it means the composer officially published it while alive. Op is short for opus, OPUS, which is Latin for work, so Op numbers are assigned based on the chronological order of publication. It's worth noting that the order of publication isn't always the order of composition. For example, Beethoven's first piano concerto is Op 15, and the second is Op 19. But in fact, the second piano concerto, opus number 19, was actually composed at an earlier date than the first piano concerto. This is just a small interesting bit that I thought I would take a moment to share with you. Now, if you look at the famous piece Für Elise, you might wonder, what is its catalog number? It's WU 59. WU stands for Werke ohne Opuszahl, which means works without opus number in German. This label is used for pieces that were not given an official opus number by Beethoven or his publishers. Many of these works, found by scholars or publishers in Beethoven's manuscripts after his death, are given the WU designation. So Für Elise, WU 59, was only discovered nearly 40 years after Beethoven died. As for the question of who Elise actually was, there are quite a few different theories. However, if you carefully look at the people who were around Beethoven during his lifetime, you will notice that no one named Elise appears in any of the historical records. Another theory is that Für Elise might not even be a piece composed by Beethoven. In fact, he might not actually be the true composer. There are several different reasons for this. First, for a Beethoven work, Für Elise is actually considered to be technically quite simple. In China, if you are taking piano exams, it is generally regarded as about a level 4 or 5 piece. Of course, as Master Lang Lang said, Beethoven probably never imagined his work would be classified as beginner level, like level 4 or 5. But there's an even more important reason why it might not be his. A key point is that, as they say in English, it is too melodic. Its melody is so strong that it doesn't quite fit Beethoven's typical style. As everyone knows, Beethoven's style of composition, if you really look at his style, his melodic quality isn't actually that strong. Although Beethoven has many famous works, many popular pieces that you can hum along to, like the Fate Symphony, right? And then there's also, for example, the theme from Ode to Joy, the final movement of the Ninth Symphony, the Ode to Joy theme. But if you look at the melodic fluctuations, although they're very memorable, the range of those fluctuations is quite small, especially when compared to works by Tchaikovsky or Chopin or Dvořák, or even compared to the many Italian opera composers. Beethoven's works aren't that melodic. However, in the piece Für Elise, the melodic quality is clearly too strong. So this is one reason why people question whether Für Elise is truly a work by Beethoven, because it was indeed found among some of Beethoven's manuscripts. We generally still accept Für Elise as his work. Now, why are we talking about this? Why would a strong melodic quality lead people to doubt if it's a work by Beethoven? This actually extends to how we view Western art. As I just mentioned, if you find two sets of keywords, you can basically gain more than half of the understanding of Western art. So which two sets of keywords? They are actually Germany and Italy.